Okay. Good morning, everybody. I have joined you. Yes. So, welcome to the webinar. How to prepare for civil services and what makes the difference? A strategy makes the difference. Yes, it is like that. And by the way, it is just a coincidence that today we have the webinar and just 2 days back we had the final result announced by UPSC. Like every year, when result comes, naturally those who are waiting for the result, they also are anxious, as well as their friends, families, as well as unconnected set of students who are aspirants of IAS. They also get, you can say, discouraged, encouraged. Okay. You will find one thing, a specialty when results are announced finally. There are several students who make it in the very first attempt. Naturally, they have their own strategy. There are several who make it in 4th attempt, 5th attempt, 2nd attempt. Okay. But if you mark over there, what is difference actually? Because today, the times in which you are preparing for the examination, books are not a problem. If you have monetary problem, banks are financing for education, you can manage everything. Notes are available, photocopies everywhere of all institute almost. You must be knowing several students go to IS institutes also for training. But the real issue is that what makes the real difference? It matters what you are studying, which things you are not studying. Okay? But ultimately, whosoever prepare for the exam, they are just hopeful I will crack it. And they get generally confused as if hope is a kind of a strategy. But hope is not a strategy. The issue is that hope is just a feeling. Hope supported by a strategy on which you can act. Basically, that matters. And that is the core of our webinar today. What to do, what not to do, how to do, how not to do. Okay? These things are which makes much difference, and better say the biggest part of your preparation is this element, what you are doing and how you are doing. Okay? So, you can say that labor requires someone out of you is writing there. I am looking at the display of the questions. Sir, I can give 24 hours every day. I have just these many years. Give me such a strategy, I can crack it. Look, again, time matters, but it is not basically the only element or only factor. How you are using time. Suppose someone is giving 12 hours per day. Someone else is giving just 4 hours. But if that 4 hours input are based on right strategy, they can make miracles. While on the other hand, if someone is giving 18 hours, 19 hours, okay, but the labor, if it is not based on right strategy, so nothing will happen. This is the core of the issue, how to do and what to do, how not to do. And as you all know, some of you might be seniors also. Some of you might be just freshers. But at least this much should be known to you, a strategy to achieve anything in life is basically an action. And action is practice. Okay? So, a thing which is practice, it is not really possible to theorize. Getting me? I hope you understand what I mean. A strategy is basically a thing to be practiced upon. Getting it? And when you are practicing upon a particular strategy, so it should be clear that yes, I am able to follow up the strategy. So there should be someone who can look after. It doesn't mean that there should be a coach or a mentor. A student can look after himself and herself itself. Okay? Several questions are still coming. I beg your pardon, I forgot to inform you that whatever questions you have with you, you just hold them up. we will have separate question answer session as the last segment of our webinar. Don't worry, okay? So hold on your questions, keep a note of them on your notebook and put them at the end of the webinar when I announce over there. Okay, now we can go for the question answer session, okay? So I was just saying you, ki being focused, giving enough input of time, reading right things, everything matters. But more than anything else, what matters is how you are doing the things, the time you are giving, how you are using that time. This is the main issue, and this is core of our webinar today. So, since we have 1 hour allotted, so I want to move on. Just see what I mean. Basically, the first thing which should be known to everybody, what is that thing which UPSC exactly requires from you? What is required from you? Okay. So when I say this thing, I mean the very prelims exam, the main exam, including options, GS, essay, and finally your personality test. That is the last segment of your examination. So you will find that it means that this applies on all. You will find that the questions which are asked, they require certain elements, whether they are present in you or not. Which elements they are basically? They are objective and subjective clarity. I will analyze you after a few minutes what I mean. First segment is that you should have objective clarity, together with that subjective clarity. The next segment is analytical and logical expertise. Are you having the capability to analyze things, and that too precisely? And are you able to have logical base of analysis, or are you just analyzing for the sake of analyzing? Getting it? And the third element is ability to apply the things which are being asked to you. Are you clear from objective point of view? Are you clear from subjective point of view? Are you able to comprehend the analytical dimensions of the topic, the event or the issue? That too logically. And finally, can you apply them? Are certain examples emerging in your mind or reflecting in your mind? And finally, after all these three things which I gave you, final thing is that are you able to find out linkages of the things with the current time, particularly nation India? I hope you got the point what I mean to say. Any question which is being asked, you should be clear objective wise, subjective wise, then analytical and logical expertise are the second element. Then finally, will you be able to apply the information and the knowledge? And the last thing is that, do you find its relevance to the current time? This is what UPSC requires from you. And in one line you can say what actually the whole syllabus means. For the time being, let us put optional subjects on margins, okay? And think about PT and MENS. You will find if you try to go to the core of the questions in pre-exam, main exam, even interview, so you will find anything which is linked with human being, particularly in case of India, by which human situation can be bettered, by which humanity can improve upon, by which happiness can be enhanced, by which development, growth, prosperity can be enhanced, the welfare can be enhanced. They are the basic of all questions. I hope you got me. This is the last thing, linkages to present time, be it history, be it polity, be it economy, be it science and technology, environment, whatever you think. Questions are basically rooted in contemporary times. So you are supposed to develop a knack and an eye by which you can find why this question has been asked to me. This is what I mean by what exactly UPSC needs from you, what the commission needs from us. This is one segment. The second segment, the lakhs of students fill the form. Will everybody qualify if they have right strategy? So no, as much vacancies are not there. Okay, that is the only difficulty. But one thing you will find that a student who has a very good impression upon their friends in society, on teachers, they at times don't qualify. What is this? So in eyes of the teacher or in eyes of society or the family or friends, the student might be knowledgeable, okay, might be speaking well, might be writing well, but exactly how this exam has to be handled, he might not be knowing. That is the reason why he failed. This is what I mean by a strategy. A strategy makes the difference. The most important part of your exam is a strategy. The second thing, a student always faces difficulty in even comprehending the exam scheme, what to ask of cracking it. So you will find what makes this exam so difficult, why this exam is so difficult. I would like to just, you can say, discuss in just 3 points over there regarding this. Why this exam was difficult and why it is so difficult today. Because as time changes, as syllabus changes, as tricks and techniques of putting questions change, as exam gets changing also. So you will find that the last time when syllabus was revised, a special mention was made by UPSC. Particularly the Cabinet Minister of DOPT, he himself announced this in the Parliament. I am just picking one line from there in the recent changes. That is, questions and the exam pattern should shift from rote learning to application-based learning. I mean to say, rote learning is cramming the things, getting it? And with the help of cramming, able to crack the questions, be it objective, be it subjective. So it was clearly announced over there that students are writing the examination and getting selected, but our system and the method which we are using, that is based on rote learning. Rather, it should be based on applicatory learning, application-based learning. It means that it has made a sea change. Earlier, you were able to read, cram notes, and just ditto, you write them down in your main examination. You see your name there in the list. But now the issue is that earlier now you have to create the answer. I rather say this way to the students. Earlier we were writing answers of the exam. Now we are supposed to create the answer. Kitchen is there, goods are there. You are supposed to cook the food. Cooked food won't work. This has made this exam really difficult. So, ready-made answers, ready-made notes are not as relevant today as they were in past. This has made the examination very difficult. It means that now to handle the exam pressure and sail smoothly, you need to learn not the knowledge. You need to learn how the knowledge has to be used. This is the basic element. This is first point. This makes exam difficult. The second segment which makes this exam difficult, that is close and confusing optionals given in prelims. A prelim is a multiple choice examination. So questions are there, choices are there. Some choices are confusing based on a statement, variety of questions. I hope you have seen the previous year question papers. So you will find that when they ask you question in prelims exam, the choices which you have to make and pick your right answer, they are very close and very confusing. Okay? What I mean by that, and how things have changed over time. This segment has also changed over the time. Earlier, there used to be generally one clear answer, 3 incorrect choices. Few questions were having 2 close choices. But a rather new trait you will find in these days PT examinations, there are more than one correct answers. Maybe out of 4 choices, ABCD, A, C and D, all 3 are correct. How all 3 can be correct? Basically, one is more correct than other. So finally, one is the most correct. How to know which is the most correct? Yes, whatever you are reading, your preparation should be holistic. Don't be selective. I have to read this thing, not this thing. Any information, any concept, whatever you are reading, you should be clear about the concept and its applications. Because choices are going to be too close, options are going to be too close and confusing also. So to have the ability to pinpoint exactly what is the exact answer, you are supposed to have clear-cut idea about the concept and everything. And the last thing which makes the examination difficult, that is applicatory and contemporary questions. Questions today are based on applications. Okay, anything. If they are asking you out of any segment of general studies, they think whether the candidate and aspirant has the ability to apply them. And they want to know this thing, whether the applicant and aspirant is known to the relevance of the question which they are being asked. It means, are you in touch with the current events, whatever is happening over there on the earth, in India, under the sun, under the sky? It means related to political system, related to scientific world, environment, foreign policy, current events, everything. What is making news? Are you able to comprehend them? Will you be able to apply them? These are 3 things which make this exam very difficult. Rather, if you look into general studies, hints part of UPSC syllabus, so generally the level of knowledge is just 10 plus 2. But why does it become so difficult? Because this is being asked to a minimum graduate students. So if you think to apply them, so you are supposed to read literature, books up to at least graduation level. It means a simple thing enhanced up to graduation level. Okay. So this is a kind of challenge which UPSC poses to a student either in pre-examination or main examination as well as in interview. So 3 things. The recent change which is emphasizing a shift from rote learning to application-based learning. Second thing, close and confusing options in prelims. And in prelims I meant both applicatory and contemporary questions. These 3 things make your examination difficult to handle. I hope you got my point. Now, moving to another area. What should be our right strategy? The name of this webinar, naturally. So, right strategy I would like to discuss with you in 3 segments. Okay? You must be looking at the slide over there. I generally suggest a student your strategy should be 3-dimensional. And this 3-dimensional strategy will take you through the examination and you will be there in the final list. Just 3 things you are supposed to do. Okay? It means our strategy is 3-dimensional strategy. It will prepare us beautifully for our pre-examination, for the main examination as well as the interview, with a little bit input and little bit changes over there. The first thing is, which I call the first dimension, that is the information base, which generally a student take as the base of your knowledge, what you know, how much you know. Okay? And to have the right level of information base, you have to be very precise in the area of selection of book, selection of journals, magazines, then adequacy of information, then limit of information, etc. Variety of things. What to read, how much to read. When you are clear ki this much to read, it means ki you are taking care of adequacy element. Now, I have not to read more than this. It means you are careful about the limit of your knowledge. And several things are there part of this. This is what is first segment of information base, knowledge base, for which you read variety of books over there, starting from NCRTs, then this book, that book. I think most of students today have the book list for every segment of GS and almost all of them. That is not a challenge. Okay. The second thing is that it means my second thing connected with the first aspect of information base is the information which you are selecting in right way, in the right size, knowing the limit of information, are they in sync with the examination? Or are you collecting just useless things? It takes place very much in case of general studies, because general studies is so general you can't be specific. Getting it? But the issue is that what I mean by this, if you think knowledge, if I have command over knowledge, so I will be able to handle the examination. No, don't think that way. There is nothing like command. Okay? If you think developing command over a subject and an area will be making you easier to handle the examination and the questions, so no. You should be careful. General studies particularly is general. It doesn't require any specialized kind of study. You have to be highly general in approach. Okay? How a graduate candidate apply things in a layman style over there. So the first issue is the information base. What things you are selecting? Are you careful about the limit? This much will be sufficient. Are you careful about adequacy of information? Together with that, in sync with the examination. When I say in sync with the examination, so actually, how to know whether I am in sync with the examination or not? The most important part of first dimension, that is information base. The best technique is that never read anything till you have not gone through questions of previous years. How many years? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Because the issue is that the informations you will collect, you must be known how those informations will be used in this examination. Getting it? I hope you are getting my point. The information base you are developing, you are building a kind of information base, a knowledge base. What is this use? How they will be used in pre, main and my interview, the last segment. This is what I mean by in sync with the examination. Look into previous year PT questions of a particular segment. Suppose you are preparing for economy segment. You first go through few years questions of past PTs. Then hold on. Then go into main examination and see what sort of questions UPSC is asking in the economy segment, that is paper 3 in main examination. Okay? Up you will ask me how much time should be given to this job. As much time you can afford. Because this is most important segment of your strategy. Knowing why I am reading something. How they will get used in pre-exam and how they will get used in main exam, and in which form they might be asked in my personality test over there. So 3 things I gave to you in this thing. The information base should be careful. It should not be unaware. Your information, your knowledge base should not be based on this attitude, read anything and everything. Okay? The thing which is required the most, keep them in top priority, then second priority and third priority. And be careful what you are reading, how much you are reading, what is limit of reading, what is limit of knowledge for your examination sake in general studies to crack the PT and main over there. And ultimately, is my preparation, the process of collecting notes, process of collecting facts and information and knowledge, is in sync with the examination system? Am I reading those things? Am I reading the way it is asked in the examination? This is what we mean by three-dimensional strategy. First thing, information base. Here, readings, references of books, they are first segment. Second thing, once we have right reading, right references, then this is your job to keep surfing through previous year questions. Because your awareness, why I am reading, so that it doesn't get directionless, so that it remains directed, you are supposed to collect information, collect knowledge as it is required for your examination. That is what I mean by in sync with the examination over there. Okay? And I have given you a few examples. Suppose they are asking certain things about inflation, certain things about environmental pollution, certain things about, suppose, the oil spill in some Gulf or somewhere else. So, which things are appearing in newspaper? What sort of questions they might ask from there? Okay, this is what I mean by in sync with the examination. The second part of our strategy is basically linked with the first part, that is information base. The first dimension is information base. Now comes the informations you have collected and you are collecting throughout the day or whatever is the time period. Are you having conceptual clarity on them? It means second dimension of our strategy is linked to the first dimension of our strategy. That is conceptual clarity of the information. Getting it? This I have tried to clarify for you. This is actually knowing the fundamentals of the issue. The first thing. This is what I mean. Suppose reservation policy is in news. Suppose a new kind of interest rate fixation popularized by RBI is presently making news, MCLR, suppose. So what actually is the fundamentals of MCLR, marginal cost of fund-based lending rate? This is what I mean by conceptual clarity of the information, knowing the fundamentals of the issue. Getting me what I mean to say? When we say reservation policy in India, so what exactly reservation policy is, why it was given. Most of the students remain confused about the reservation policy in India. So generally you will find that majority goes against the reservation policy because they don't know the fundamentals. They are not conceptually clear about the root and the roots of reservation policy in the country. Okay, this is first thing which I can give you idea about conceptual clarity of the information. The second thing is that do you have ability to link the issue and the fundamentals to the current time? This is the issue. Okay. The informations you have gathered, are you conceptually clear about them? First thing. And second thing, if need be, can you use them? Can you use them in your? Can you use them in contemporary times? You must be sure. You must be sure. Getting me? What I mean to say is, suppose a news has come. Usually, when oil tankers are getting transported through navigation, the oil spills over there. And you are reading a news that there are certain group of bacteria who can degrade the oil spill on ocean floors. So now you are supposed to know how they break this fundamental. This issue is that how those group of bacteria break this down. That is science of the bacteria. Okay. Rarely you will be asked such questions. They will be interested to ask you these things. What those group of bacteria are called. Getting it? Are you aware about those bacteria and group of bacteria which can degrade the crude oil or oil slippages on the ocean floors, doing great damage to ocean environment? There is a good issue over there. So knowing the fundamentals I mean conceptual clarity of the information. And finally, what might be their possible uses? It means the first dimension of our three-dimensional strategy should be collecting right amount of information. Second should be conceptual clarity about those information. And the third strategy of your preparation should be, that is last thing, practicing for the examination. I hope you got my point. You collected informations, you are careful about their size, you are careful about the limit, you are very much following the strategy I am not collecting useless things. I am trying to follow up the pattern of examination, the nature of questions, what have been asked in past. Okay, and out of that you get a clue. As the things have been asked in past, these things might be asked in present time. Getting it? Now the issue is that right base of information, right amount of knowledge, adequacy, and finally conceptual clarity. Now, are you sure you will be able to use them in pre-examination, main examination? So to check this and to enhance your level of confidence, I will suggest you practice for the examination. You know, two exams are there. One is multiple choice, another is writing examination, that is main. So I rather suggest the students you should practice for both the examination simultaneously, because objective exams which are based on multiple choice questions, it doesn't mean you don't need subjective knowledge, because without having subjective knowledge of anything, objective idea can't come to you. And when you go to write subjective answers, without knowing the objectivity, without knowing the issue objectively, even subjective answers can't be written. It means key exams are having two segments, objective and subjective. It doesn't mean we have to prepare separately for them. Same issue, same topic, same information might be the base of question in PT, might be the base of question in main over there. It means you are supposed to keep practicing for both the exams simultaneously, regarding which I suggest enough practice should be done of multiple choice questions for PT examination, and writing practice should be done by the candidate for the main examination, which includes essay paper also. It means you are supposed to enhance your writing skills for main examination and your practice for the multiple choice question of the PT examination. I hope you got my point. Okay? Or where to practice from? Several books give practice sets. Throughout your preparation, when you are reading things, you are collecting notes, you are making information richer and richer, you find there are a variety of issues on which multiple choice question might be set. There are magazines also. There are several test series over there. You will find their question papers available easily, or you may join them if you think better over there. Okay? So you will find practicing gives you a kind of technical preparedness, because how to manage time, how to come over the pressure, knowing how many questions I can crack in how many minutes, because you know in this examination it is not qualifying kind of examination, it is competition. So either you are beating someone or someone else is beating you. This is the story. Okay? If we are able to beat as much people you are there in the list, your strategy is correct, and you don't know what others are doing, so you know only about you. It means as much labor and effort you can input, I will suggest you to give that. But practice, without practice, it is an old proverb over there, practice makes a man perfect. Okay, yes. Be it IS exam, be it farming, be it running anything, busy in any enterprise, practice is essential element of any strategy. So here I would like to conclude basically कि your strategy for this examination is based on three things which I have given a name, three-dimensional strategy. The first is knowledge base. You should be careful what I am collecting. How to get sense of knowledge base. To be in touch with current events and be in touch with the question papers of previous years. They will give you knack and they will give you a kind of sense for the PT examination as well as the main examination. To the extent second dimension is concerned, that is key after when you are collecting information, when you are collecting knowledge, gathering knowledge from variety of books and you can say materials. So you should be careful, you should be clear about the fundamentals, because without conceptual clarity, you can't use anything. And questions are today based on usage of the concepts. Getting it? And the third is practicing for the examination. Keep practicing for PT examination and main examination in a routine way. It will enhance your confidence, it will enhance your performance, and finally you will be able to crack the examination following this strategy. This is what I have to say on to the extent the ultimate strategy is concerned. Okay? Up now, the issue is that students might be thinking some examples should be given to us. So from that perspective, I would like to share with you a few examples. One example I give you, that is basically a real question of UPSC, but I am not going to give you exactly the way it was asked. I just ask you one question. You can consider this question is linked with socio-economic and political situation of India. The question is that they gave four choices, A, B, C, D, and they asked Indian planning process is considered as one of the following. Four choices are there. Indian planning process, you must be knowing, planning commission was involved in process of planning. Now the body has been replaced by Niti Aayog. That is called only Niti also. Anyway, so the question was Indian planning process was one of the following processes. And the process of planning in India can be termed as one of the following. And just listen the choices. It is not there in slide. You can write them on your notebook. Four choices they gave. The first is economic process. Second, social process. Third, socio-economic process. And the last, Gandhian Marxist process. The four choices are there. You have to pick the right choice. The planning process in India has been one of the following. Economic process, social process, socio-economic process, and Gandhian Marxist process. See the confusion. Okay? What happens basically when you are confronted with economic process, social process, socio-economic process, so you feel more comfortable. Let us go to the socio-economic process. So largest number of students take the C choice. Few highly knowledgeable few people are there who went for the choice D, Gandhian Marxist. They might be PhD in political science or teaching somewhere in university and college. They were knowledgeable people. Because Gandhian Marxist process belongs to part of one of the decisions of Supreme Court when Government of India and the government of Srimati Indira Gandhi, they have introduced the socialist term in preamble of Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court was adamant to know from the Attorney General what exactly is your sense when your government uses socialist term. One of the options, the choice came, it could be a kind of hybrid of the Marxist idea and Gandhian principles over there. Okay, this is what Indian socialism was established by the court. Anyway, so those who were highly knowledgeable, they went for the last choice. Now the issue is that what was its real answer? Mind the word I am using, watch. Because today, if the same question is being asked, answer will be different. Okay? Because this question was asked when planning commission was still there. You should be careful. If the right answer is A, that is economic process. You may be surprised. By what logic planning process in India could be economic? I just let you know. It has to be economic because planning commission in India was never given a social work and social function. Rather, government of India was having variety of social functions and responsibilities. Okay, so you get confused. Ki at one hand, if I write ki planning has been economic process, so what is the reservation policy is? Why women get reservation? What is economy in this? They are all social policies basically. Yes, they are. But none of them are suggested by planning commission. They are not part of planning process. They are part of development process of India, which has to be taken care of by government of India. And to the extent planning is concerned, planning has to be taken care of by only planning commission. What is the change now? Suppose the same question comes today, but then answer will be seen. See, the knowledge is same, books are same, but see the uses. Because Niti Aayog has been asked by government of India to prepare such a model of development planning in the country which is holistic, inclusive and integrative all. It means that now Indian planning process has officially moved from being an economic process only to a socio-economic process. It means that now government might be including, or better say, government will be eager to include social dimensions, cultural dimensions, for example, language, the caste issues, the you can say regional issues, variety of community-based issues in the process of development planning. So see, the same question when it was asked, answer was A, and same question suppose they asked this year, answer will be C. This is fluidity of the question. I always warn and caution my students wherever someone comes to meet me. Look, basically, the whole examination process is very smart. Okay, questions are based on very easy things, but they are not created easily. They are created very smartly, and chances are there you will be fooled by the question and smart set and cleverness of the question. So be wise enough to handle the question. Getting me? So this one example I can give you what sort of question they ask you. Okay? And you know, as a teacher, we take questions very lightly, or maybe we are not going to compete for civil services, but to the extent a student has concerned, they are very concerned. The student who finally cracks, they are smart enough. They know what difficulty they might be creating here. Getting it? So this is what I can say. This is in a sense holistic approach to your preparation to IAS. Our strategy should be so clear and so holistic in nature, it is able to handle the PT examination and the main examination and finally the personality development. Let me conclude you something about the personality development. Basically, the story is that the things you have been doing for your IAS examination, you were preparing them, you were doing practice of either use them in objective exams or you are able to write them. But personality test is a typically different examination. You are neither given pen and paper to write over there, nor given one question, you speak 250 words, okay, or 5 minutes. It is a kind of question answer session. Naturally, the information base and the knowledge base, the conceptual clarity about the knowledges you have, whatever you have gathered by now, they will be the contents which you will be using when you reply any question asked by a member in the interview board. But here, one extra thing you need to acquire, that is a skills of speaking and attending interview board. What are the etiquettes, mannerism, the traits, those things. So whatever you were doing under this strategy, which we have discussed just now, you just add up one thing, that is acquiring the right traits, right actions in your personality, you will again sell easily in the interview book. You will again sell very easily in the interview book. It means that this strategy is not limited to the preparation of PT and mains only. This goes beyond preparations of PT and mains. The same things we have been collecting, same strategy which we have been following. If you just add up with them, your capacity to present the things in front of 4 people, 5 people in group sitting over their interview board with right traits, right mannerism, okay, the things which are required, you are again ready to handle and take upon the personality test of your examination. That is the last segment of exam, after which the final results are announced. This is what I need to say on the right strategy. Okay? And I will now offer, and I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and as I told you earlier, a strategy is a thing to practice. As much you theorize about it, a strategy, if someone is not practicing and acting upon them, a strategy is not theory. A strategy is basically a practice. You are supposed to act upon them. So whatever idea I have given you, you can follow. You follow them and just see what changes happen. Getting it? In your preparation of a strategy over there. Okay? Now, I say thank you and invite all of you for a questions and answer session over there. You can type your questions. I will pick the question which I think fit, or my team picks as more relevant question, or I pick any question over there. I will answer them by repeating the question so that everybody is able to know the answer of the question. You can type your questions. You can write down your questions on your set and system. Rahul Sinkar, you are asking, is it possible to crack civil services if we start right now? Look, your question basically hits the time period. The time period as much you are left with. Will it be possible to crack the examination in this possible time? Look, again I will say you same thing. Time is also an important factor, but not the only factor. Generally, you will hear from the expert that this time is not enough. If someone starts preparing now, it will be really risky. Okay? But then the second dimension is that how someone is going to use this time. It is known to that someone, not me. So if your strategy is correct, so even in short period of time, you can crack that. Getting me? One question I pick over there, the same question, sir, when your book Indian Economic 8th edition will be available. It is already in place, just wait. Within few days it will be available in the market. You keep writing your questions, okay? I will pick the most relevant. Vipanna, coaching helps provided you are at the right center. Suman Kumar, how to prepare for CSAT basically. For CSAT, you go into the syllabus. The way the questions will be asked, they are up to the matriculation level. You just practice them from right book. Your preparation is there. Okay? And don't worry much about CSAT, because CSAT is now on the margins of the examination. What makes different, that is your general studies paper 1. Look, one is also asking same question. Yugandhar Tupe is asking, is it important for freshers to join coaching institute? I am preparing for 2017 August. Look, basically coaching can be part of your strategy, okay? As you read books, as you collect materials. Similarly, I am repeating again over there, if you have to listen the whole syllabus in one go, suppose If you find a right coach over there, right mentor over there in some institute basically, you can join that, okay? But be careful, coaching should be useful because your time is more important. The fees you pay, that is not more important, okay? And the most important part is your time. And suppose you were taught not right way, so you will have to delete them. So be careful. Take recommendations of your seniors. They will guide you where to go and where not to go basically, okay? This is what I will suggest you. Ritika Malhotra writing, okay, sir, I have heard that many people read everything and they could not qualify. I told you that is what a strategy is. So, what you are reading, how many hours you are reading, that matters. But had it been so, on our basis we should have qualified? No. What matters most, that is a strategy. How you are doing things, you should take care of that, Ms. Ritika. I hope you got my point. Okay, their strategy was not right. That is why they could not qualify. Yes, I recommend you should, I am answering Anjuli Srikant over there. Is it advisable to have personal learning plan and timetable? Yeah. But I generally believe there should be a timetable which should not be followed religiously because you are not child, you are at least graduate. Mood variations, variety of things are there. You just keep in mind I have to prepare this much within this week. I have to give input of this many hours today. When I have to give that input, morning, evening, night, you handle. Okay? Now, I am able to see. Nikita, yes. Rishabh Shukla, hours matter, but only hours don't matter. McGraw by now doesn't publish any magazine sort of thing on current affairs, but they come up with current affairs guide over there. They are helpful. You can go through that. Sir, how to memorize a large amount of Mohit Shevde is asking me, sir, how to memorize a large amount of material data involved in this examination, say for easy longitude, latitude, continuous. Look, basically, the issue is that we can't cram facts regarding countries and continents. What is their latitudinal situation, what is their longitudinal situation. Okay, continents are not as many. We can cram over there, we can memorize them. But the real issue is that you are not supposed to cram and revise everything and anything. Make a sense when you are picking information. If it is in news, so they might ask. For example, suppose a volcano erupted in Malaysia. So they can ask directly about that volcano, but volcano might not be asked. They might be asking about earthquake. They might be asking about the whole Southeast Asia. They might be asking about few volcanoes which are at present somnolent in Southeast Asia. This is the way why something becomes in news. It doesn't mean we have to memorize every data and latitude, longitude of every country and continent. Getting it? Yes, Kaushik Bilani. I thank you basically. Optional subject. Asutosh Raghuvanshi is asking, sir, what things should be kept in mind when we select the optional? Look, as much time you have, how much time you have, are you having a kind of inclination for this subject? Okay? Then, the second thing is that if you need a coaching, if you need books, are they available easily? And the last thing, how that subject had been doing in the examination. Because as you know, there are different optionals, and to put them at par, some sort of methodologies are utilized by UPSC so that competition remains fair over there and every candidate gets fair chance to qualify. So from that perspective, a scaling kind of thing is applied over there. Getting it? So be careful there are periods when some subject is in trend and some subjects are out of trend. You will get that message information from market. Accordingly, you select over there. But I believe if the subject you have read in graduation or BTech or MBBS, medical, you better stick with that. That is a very good strategy. It makes a sense. It makes an impression upon the interview board. If he was having this and this subject in graduation, he is over there. It is not possible because you are not having pressure of two options. When there used to be two options, we were running here and there. What should be my options? Okay. You can clear your examination without coaching. The strategy has been given to you. Jyotsna is asking, Miss Jyotsna Sharma, can it be cracked without coaching? Yes, it can be. Several cracked, and every year several crack it. That is the strategy I gave you. You go into that. The things I told you, the message is hidden there. You do the thing right way, you will qualify. One technical question is coming. Yugandhar Tupa is asking he is not able to watch this webinar. Can he watch this again? Access this again?
Yes, we are posting this.
It will be posted on YouTube itself. Don't worry. You give the name and the title of seminar and webinar. You will find it on YouTube. Don't worry. Look, Shubham Kesri, if you decided to go for coaching, so naturally there is no alternative for coaching because you are thinking to join a coaching. But if you are not able to join coaching institute due to any sort of reasons and factors, so it can be done without being in a coaching institute. We can do it. The issue is that you should have the right strategy and you should have basically someone who can take care simply. Okay? Medium plays a role. Prashant Tiwari is asking, medium plays a role in selection basically. It doesn't play a role because you have some medium and language. It plays a role because your language, suppose it is such a language in which goods, books and materials and newspapers are not available. And government documents are not published in all languages. They come in only English and Hindi. This is what makes difference. Nomita Depuru. What type of questions can be asked in interview? Anything can be asked. As anything can be asked in general studies, similarly, anything can be asked from, can be expected from interview board in the personality development, personality test. You can take care. They could be from your biodata, they could be from your career, they could be from educational, academic qualification, anything, hobbies, variety of things. Jason Yadav is asking, we should need to focus on most important topics. We should not go through any garbage things. Look, I did not say that. You got it wrong. I mean, when you are collecting materials, when you are collecting information, so that should be in sync with the UPSC requirement. Okay? Not by suggestions of your friends and whatever is available in bookstall or whatever is available on the footpath. Okay. How you will have that sense? You go into previous year questions of PT and mains. You will start developing sense. One of you, Kapil Dev Bhukhya, is asking how to prepare essay. Kapil Dev, I can't say that in one line because it is again based on practice. Okay? Which things might be asked? Keep them contemporary and prepare them accordingly by writing practice. So, just within few seconds, we will be exhausting our time. I bid good luck to all. I hope you have enjoyed the webinar, and soon we will be calling you for another webinar. We will be inviting you for another webinar that might be exclusively on economy section. Dates will be announced and you will be informed accordingly. Thank you and good luck to all. I hope you got the idea. Thank you very much.